Hi, everyone. We're going to discuss how to make student-to-student interaction possible in a Google Classroom course. We as instructors know that student-to-student interaction is important for their social, mental, and educational learning and growing experience. We know that we need to make sure our students are working with one another and that in these distance learning times, they need to continue to do so to keep building upon those social skills. So Google Classroom provides a system of doing this through creating a question. So we're going to go show you how to do this. And as always, let's begin with our distance learning course. So go to your course and let's go to classwork. Here in classwork, we're going to create something called a question. Now in the classwork video, I already discussed that you could make a question and this was something you could do to have students reply to one another, but we're going to go a little bit more in depth for this video. So first, let's ask a open-ended question. As always, if you want questions to have good discussion, you got to have a good question for students to jump off of. So let's start with something in my realm of IT. What do you think of putting privacy and firewall protections on student devices? So our student devices went out and they are actually still subject to the school firewall and the school privacy settings. Discuss with your students. Make sure to discuss with your fellow students. Make sure to reply thoughtfully. So, in this case, we'll give it a point value. We can also make it unedited. That's okay. I'll make it ungraded because I don't really want to grade a discussion, an open-ended one. Let's give it a due date. I'd like my students to finish this by the 15th of next week. That's when I'll close the discussion. And we're going to put it under the designing your classroom course subject. Now, the two settings that are going to matter here are students can reply to one another and students can edit their answers. In this case, I'm going to choose that students can do both. Now, it is my belief that students should be able to kind of refine to not fully edit their initial responses, but to edit it if they need to. If they mess up somewhere, they can quickly go back and correct a typo or something. And then because it's a discussion, we want our students to reply to one another. So once you're ready, you can click ask and I'll post it immediately, or you can schedule it, save it as a draft, etc. So let's just ask this immediately. And then once we hit save, we're going to go down to that and we're going to find that question. What do you think of putting privacy, etc.? So let's view the question. In this case, we're going to see the grading portion here. So obviously no students have turned it in. No one's actually applied to one another, etc. But from here, you have the ability to go look through all the threads. So if a student puts an answer and people are answering that student, you're going to see all the replies on this page. You can also see the question, and you can actually see a sort of thread by thread comment by going to the question page. So that's how I would suggest, and it is honestly the only way to do so in Google Classroom, how I would suggest you create a discussion with your students in Google Classroom. Now, you do have the ability to jump in and make answers, maybe ask another leading question, etc. Consider this a sort of forum or a thread that you can add on to as students are answering the question. And then again, my final piece of advice for making these discussion type questions, give them a big, long time to do this. You want students kind of thinking. You want them to kind of have the question muddling in their head for a little bit. Okay? So, have a good night, everyone. That's how you do it.